Hi guys, my name is Tanya and this is a little kind of catch up and sort of my October wrap up. So I have kind of been missing in action for about the past month. I don't know if it's to do with the time of year or what, but I suffer from anxiety and depression and it's really been just flaring up hella badly. I went off on holiday sort of okay. I needed a break from work and life and everything really, but I went on holiday, it was all good. And I came back and everything just fell down on top of me like a ton of bricks. I got really frustrated with myself because all I was doing when I was at home was lying in bed watching Once Upon a Time, and even though I knew that what I should be doing is getting up and doing things because that is what makes me feel better, I just couldn't do it. All I felt like I could do was lie in bed and watch TV. That in turn made work really hard, which is sad because I love my job and I love to be happy at my job. I'm doing a lot better personally now and I'm also feeling in a much better place because although I've been missing for those negative reasons, I've also been doing some really positive things. So I've been spending a lot of time with my friends here in Cardiff. I've been out for dinners, I've been to the movies, I went to see Trolls, it was really fun. I went to London with one of my old university friends to see Welcome to Night Vale live. If you haven't listened to the Welcome to Night Vale podcast, please give it a go. It's absurd and brilliant and has so much wonderful representation in it. I can't even with Night Vale. But yeah, I've seen all of their live shows in the UK so far and this one was described as their most ambitious yet, and I thought it would be in a they're gonna like come out in the audience and freak us out or something kind of thing. It was more the script was so tightly written and so well done that it was just a punch in the gut when they got to the kind of crunch of the whole plot line, and I think we all left in tears and it was wonderful and beautiful. I am also taking part in NaNoWriMo this month. I am super duper behind. I meant to film this video yesterday but I realised that I was about 16,000 words behind and decided to just spend the day writing. I set myself up with a little spot, it was really nice. I wrote about 2,500 words and it was so much fun. So yeah, I'm actually gonna film this and then probably edit it later because I'm actually going off to a write-in at this amazing place. It's called Octavo's Book Cafe and Wine Bar. Yeah, it's a cafe and a wine bar and it sells books and does amazing vegan food. I had this like falafel stuff there last week, oh my gosh. But I had no idea this place existed until I went onto the Wales Rimo group and discovered that they do write-ins down there. Went and drank some tea, had some wine, had some food, wrote a couple of thousand words. It was great. So I'm gonna do that again tonight. So yeah, lots of positive things. I've been doing loads of really great stuff on top of all the really crap stuff. Which brings me round to reading. I only finished one book in the month of October. It was a really good, really big book, so I am not complaining, and it was Wild Swans, Three Daughters of China by Young Chang. This is a book that I've been meaning to read for about 10 years now, since one of my mum's friends lent it to her and she left it in the hallway for months and I kept picking it up and sneaking reads of it. So yeah, I finally got around to actually reading it, and I did this on my Kindle. I did have a physical copy, but I decided that the benefits of downloading it onto my Kindle and being able to carry it around versus having to fit it on my not that big bookshelf were pretty positive. So this book follows 3 generations of women in the same family through from about the end of the 19th century to just after the death of Chairman Mao in 1976. So it sees a lot of social change in China, from the kind of feudal warlord type system right into the various stages of communism. And what I really liked about this book was, although it followed the stories of the 3 women primarily, as we were introduced to other people in their story, so the author's father, teachers, other family members as they go through history. It details all of these people's lives in actually quite a lot of depth as well. So you get a bit of backstory on each of them and it tells you more about how different people lived throughout these eras in China. So you don't just see what these 3 women saw, you see what a lot of people saw and how that all ties into the overall picture. So it was a lot more than just 3 women's lives and it was incredibly interesting. Especially as this is a biographical work, it is a very difficult and harrowing book to read. To see all the way through from her grandmother's feet being bound when she was a little girl to how her parents were treated by the state as almost criminals at every turn, and how she can look back on it and see the bigger picture now, but at the time what she was told, when basically it was incredibly difficult to read about the brutality. But I think it's also important to read about what people are capable of. So I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars as it was incredibly compelling in spite of how horrifying some of it was. You wanted wanted to keep turning the pages to find out what happened to her family, and it was just a very well written way of opening up a period of history that I didn't know a lot about. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this book. It was definitely worth putting in the time to read it. The last thing I want to talk about today is Own Voices October, which obviously happened last month in October. It was run by Mel at Books with Wings and Katie at Katie Loves to Read. I'll link their channels down below. You should go and check them out because they are both excellent, excellent book bloggers. And I had a whole TBR of Own Voices books, so books that were written by the minorities slash marginalised groups that the voices in the books belong to. Ironically, the only book that I did manage to finish off of my TBR was a non-fiction book, which was probably the least applicable to Own Voices October. But I might be completely wrong about this. This is just my opinion, so please let me know down below what you think. I enjoy reading biographies or autobiographies about people's lives in countries that are not my own. I find it a really good way of learning to understand the world more. So then when I read books by and about people of different ethnicities and backgrounds to me, it's in a way a lot easier to place things in my head. One of the things about Wild Swans was that at points Jung Chang was criticising how the media from the West were coming in and seeing her China, but they were portraying it as something completely different to what it was, as kind of this miraculous wonder. And I think that at the minute where the media is demonising specific groups of people, it's really important just to get to learn more about people and a bit of history, points of view, things like that. I think that kind of went off on a bit of a ramble. Basically, I was trying to take part in Own Voices October, but I kind of failed at reading. So yeah, I hope that you're all doing really, really well, and I hope that you're having lovely days. I hope that the rain hasn't impacted on the sound quality of this video too much, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye! The death of Chairman Mao in 1976? Yeah, 1976. I read this whole book and I'm still really bad at talking about historical information, I'm sorry.